Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning back in to another episode of We the People. Today I sit down with a young man who truly inspires me. Oscar is a dreamer here in the city of Chicago who is working every single day to better the playing field and level the playing field for dreamers like himself. As a graduating senior at the Illinois Institute of Technology, he found himself experiencing some difficulties as a college student and wants to ensure that students that come behind him are able to find the scholarship monies and support needed to complete college in a safe and supportive way. I'm super inspired by him every single day as I work alongside him at Chicago Scholars, and I hope that you're inspired by his story as well. Let's listen in.
So my name is Oscar Cazalez. I was born in Mexico, came here when I was 11 years old. I crossed the border with my mom and my two younger brothers, so I'm undocumented. And I'm under the DACA program that was started by President Obama back in 2012. So DACA was a program started signed off in 2012 by President Obama, but for DACA, there's students who were brought here when they were really young. So like for me, I was brought here when I was 11 years old, and we didn't really have a status. So and what DACA does, it gives you a work permit, a driver's license, and a social security number, right? So it gives you temporary status, and you have to renew the application every 2 years, and they do background check. They ask you for your records or school. They just want to see that you've been contributing some type, right? And of course, they do a criminal background check to see that you're in good standing. But if you meet other criteria too, like you have to get here before a certain age, if you meet this criteria, then you give me your information to the government, and the government gives you those three documents: your social, driver's license, and your social security work, and they allow you to temporary work. And again, you have to do the application every 2 years. I've been living in Pilsen my whole life, so I've seen it change back when it was really violent to what it is now to being gentrified. So I've been there my whole life. I went to a charter school, Chicago Bulls College Prep. We were first class too, so that was kind of an interesting experience. And for me, when I was a sophomore in high school, I got the opportunity to go to UCLA for one summer. That completely changed my life. It was the first time getting out of Chicago and the first time stepping foot in a college campus. So at that time, I didn't even know what it meant to be undocumented. I was just happy to be in a college campus, like being there by myself, just meeting new people, and it was great, man. And that completely changed my life, I would say. Came back to Chicago, and then after that, I just started to work really hard. When I was in high school, my senior year, again, I was extremely excited to get out of Chicago, applying NYU, Marquette, U of I. I was getting in, but just I couldn't come up with the money to go there, And to me, I thought it was unfair, but my parents never really talked to us about this. And of course, your parents tell you not to tell people that you're undocumented because that could backfire on you, So that was the first time that I realized that I was undocumented, and I wasn't connected to the movement on what was going on, So after doing my research and then meeting other individuals, I truly felt that this is a subject that mattered, and especially when I met people who were in my situation and I was able to connect with them, and I think that really started me to get involved in this type of work. Thankfully, I met one of my good mentors, Tanya Cabrera, who has been working with undocumented students for a really long time, but at that time she was at Illinois Tech. So she told me to apply. I applied there, and I got accepted. They gave me a good financial aid package, so I decided to start. And for a lot of us undocumented students, I think that the reality, it comes down to the money, right? Because we relied on scholarships to go to school. We can't get FAFSA. So for me, I started there. At first, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. Being in Pilsen, you always see the activists, the politicians. So I thought I wanted to help people in that regard. So I started with a political major degree, but then I quickly realized that was not what I wanted to do after interning with a few politicians. Like I love the entrepreneurship status and stuff like that. But then I was like, this is not for me. So one thing that changed too was Tanya has a brother who has a capital markets firm, and she got me a meeting with him for an hour, and that piqued my interest into the markets, into finance. He told me about Latinos in finance. So to me, that was really interesting. And that's when I started to take more business courses. I started to get more involved. And the cool thing about that time is that we were working on a scholarship for undocumented students. So to me, that just allowed me to connect with people that I didn't really feel connected to, or like I didn't feel connected to the whole movement. So I got connected, and I, along with 5 people, we co-founded Scholarship for Undocumented Students. So that's something that I'm really proud of, because it's really helping. It's awesome to see that your work is helping other new students. So for me, I take a lot of pride in that. I'm always like looking for the next challenge, but I feel like in finance, I'm always going to be involved, and helping young people too is one of my passions too, because I've been helped a lot from different sources, right? So for me, it's just a way to give back and say thank you. In the community, I just started a program for high school students, and I teach them about their rights, the resources, the different programming that there is for undocumented students. And there's different organizations that truly help undocumented students. So I'm trying to teach them about what they should know, like in one spot, you know? Because I feel like a lot of us are drawn back to do this type of stuff, because like a lot of us, or the people tell you, oh, go get scholarships because that's what you should focus on. But for undocumented students, like there's options where you could develop your leadership. You could meet other people. Like I just came back from Harvard 2 weeks ago, and I went for a conference for undocumented students, and I met a girl who was going to Harvard with no DACA. So to me, that was pretty inspiring, because like that just tells you, like, if you really want something, you could do it. You just have to find a way. I can't really control what's going on in the White House, but what I could control is my work ethic, the connections that I make with people. So I try to take it day by day, you know? I know there's a lot of uncertainty, but I know that people want me because I bring something to the table of value, you know? So I try to have that positive mentality, and I know that there's a lot of people who are fighting for us in the courts, in the streets. So for me, since I'm in school, I've been putting a lot of my focus in getting good grades, being involved. And for the young people too, I tell them that learn your rights, learn what's going on, but also, because there's a lot of ways that you could get involved, right? You don't have to be in the street marching, you could be helping people out. So it all depends on who you are and like the people you meet. But at the end of the day, like, know your rights, be involved, and go meet other individuals who are in the same situation, because that's just gonna keep you motivated, and it's gonna keep you informed too. When I started college, I used to be really shy, but now I'm like the most outspoken person, right? So, and Tanya has been involved in helping the undocumented community for numerous years. And I've seen her do the work that she does, which has been incredible. And I think for me, that has planted a seed of like, in giving back and like bringing others with me, and like never missing a chance when a student asks you for help to help them out, because like, that's what she does. And like, I feel like for me, like, I do like finance, but I'm also always going to be involved in helping young people. I'm glad that my parents brought me here, because looking back, I don't think I will have gotten the same opportunities. And I don't know, the American dream for me is just being a person of value, you know? Like, I feel that there's a lot of more resources here, so I'm just taking advantage of those. And I feel like that's what true leaders do, right? They just face adversity and then they just go right on. And for anyone, it doesn't matter if you're undocumented or American, like if you want something, you're gonna go get it. And I feel like being in here in the United States, that's what this place is for. And I was young when my parents brought me here, so it's not like I had a choice, right? And regardless, I will always thank my parents for that. And again, if you look back in history, that's where we all started, right? We were at one point, like, we could talk about the numbers, the economic growth, and all the stuff like that. But at the end of the day, like, I'm human too, right? Like, and I have rights too. And if you go back to your ancestors, one of your ancestors had to be undocumented, right? You're not just first generation like how I am. I'm the first in my family to go to college. I'll be the first to graduate with a master's, and so I'm literally trailblazing the way for my three younger brothers, which was done already for the people who are always complaining about us, you know? So bottom line, when we get to fundamentals, like, I value hard work, I care about family, which I think it's what a lot of the other values that people have too. Look, you don't need to have experience. Just do it. Whatever you want to start, just do it. I feel like there's no losing, you just literally learn, right? If you fail the first time, that's fine. Just regroup, talk to the other people, how will you change this, how will you change that, and then do it again. But if you truly want to do something, you're gonna do it, right? So for young people, just do it. If you don't know the right direction to go talk to older folks who have done it before. That has really worked for me. Like, I feel like I have learned little things from everyone that I met. So that has helped me out, and at the end of the day, you're just gonna be developing yourself as a leader, which is what a lot of the people here in Chicago are doing. So don't be scared, just dive in. If you fail the first time, you're gonna learn a lot of things and just do it better the next time. But yeah, that's my advice, just do it, literally.